Hey guys, alrighty, so we had our quad witching day on Friday. Honestly, pretty mild quad witching day. Not a whole lot happened. We got a little bit of a push at 2 o'clock, or a drop volatility there, and then end of day we had that kind of big move up and then that big rejection. But other than that, pretty mild day to be completely honest. So looking at SPY here on the daily, we put in a new supply at 472.6. So basically right now this should be our top, and you can see, I mean, we've been just working up in this amazingly aggressive bull channel here. So, just to show the sheer extent of this, this is kind of our bull channel right there. So you can see just how aggressive this channel is. So, really Monday, if we lose 476.31, then technically we are losing support here. Now, again, there will be another bull channel kind of with the resistance this way that we can watch that gives a bigger retrace. But I do think that this is our temporary top for now. I'm going to look for a little bit of a retrace. I think we could come down to this 459.16 to 461.54 area. Over on the weekly time frame, we kind of got an interesting close here. We got a weekly supply at 460.22, which does give us an imbalanced close. So either we need to have a new push higher up towards 476.28 to put a new demand in, or we're going to need to close back under 460.22 in order to rebalance the market here. I do think we could see a nice double top and come back down into this area here to kind of retest the ADMA. You can see we've been for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks now. We've been just completely over the weekly ADMA without even touching it. And I believe we are on our 7th green week in a row too. Going over to futures here, we have a really nice resistance zone at 47.69 to 47.83. This is the second day in a row that we have wicked off of that rejection, and then today we put that resistance and that supply in. So I'm looking for a move back down. My target would be 47.20 on that move back lower. Going over to the weekly here, we did come up nicely. We did close just over 47.61, our weekly supply. Likely we will hold here, put a new supply in, and kind of come back down to this 46.08 area. Going over the Qs here, Qs look a little different. So on the Qs, we had our supply put in yesterday, so on Thursday. And then today we actually got the new demand, which then pushed us higher. So this is kind of interesting here because now we have a little choppy range here. So basically 405.69, which we have rejected off twice now, is critical resistance with this nice little doji, which shows some probability for a downside. But we have really strong support now at 403.24 to 403.82. So essentially bears need to close below 403 and bulls need to close over 406. Going over the weekly here, you can see same thing. We have potential to reject off of our 405.57 weekly supply. We basically closed within 20 cents of that level. I'm looking for a little double top here to come back down, kind of back test some weekly support. Likely 398.84 would be our target. Going over to NQ, same thing here. We got that new demand at 16,738. So same thing here. We have a nice support area at 16,738 to 16,761. But as you can see, 16,885, that is our critical resistance. We have basically, within 2 points for 2 days in a row, rejected off of that area. So that should be considered resistance until we really close over probably 16,900. I would be limited on my upside potential here. Looking at the weekly here, same thing. We did not get a new weekly supply or anything, but I am looking for a move back down to 16,333 and potentially 16,594. That would give us a nice little double top, maybe a doji here, and then kind of come back to back test some resistance, some support now, and to put a new supply in. And then we can look for a new demand. We have not had a new demand in basically 2 months since the week of October 23rd. So bulls really need a new demand up here somewhere to give a higher support level. Otherwise, the next rejection has higher probability of a much larger retrace. Looking at the VIX, VIX has been doing a whole lot of nothing. So essentially, you just kind of look at the trend here. We keep trying to break out over this daily AEMA here, but every single time we do or even get over it, the next day it is immediately rejected lower. So basically, we're kind of chopping in this 12.06 demand to 13.17 supply area. But even more, and so now you can see this 12.5 area is holding really nicely as resistance. You can see back here in November and early December, that was actually really strong support. And now that's being turned into resistance. So likely what's going to happen is we are probably going to see the VIX end up in the 11s again. We did break it this week a couple times, but I think we're going to get our first close in the 11s, and that's going to be since the first time since way back here in 2018 was the last time we had that closes in the 11s. So, you know, very, very, very high probability that that will happen. And I do think that could bring the market higher. So the one thing, or lower, the one thing that I do find interesting is the fact that the VIX just kind of continues to chop and do a whole lot of nothing. There's been a lot of days lately where the VIX and markets are closing the same direction. So for instance, on Friday, we had SPY-X close down 0.01% red. And the VIX closed down 1.6%. I think maybe 3 or 4 times last week, we had the VIX and SPY close in the same direction. So I would like to see some normalcy on that again. But I don't think that really comes until we get the VIX back in this 13 area here. So not a whole lot on the agenda next week from a data or event standpoint that I saw on Friday night. Sometimes they add a couple things over the weekend, but we'll keep an eye out. But as of right now, we should have a mild data week, and hopefully we can get some nice trends to play. So, all right, guys, I will see you guys next week.